Yo, welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Futbol on Full Heel. I am Frankie, joined once again by Johnny and Andres.
Yo, yo.
We got Donkey Tron, the Tron, or just Tron, on the boards in the back here. Gave us the keys to the studio again. Back at it. A lot of stuff going on in the world of football in the last week or so, the last 7 days. I want to start by declaring my supremacy in the picks so far.
Wow,
Irrelevant.
wants to make it about picks now. All right, look at this guy.
What do you want me to do? I've got 10 picks correct out of the possible 18 that we've made so far. Johnny's got 6.
There's some hard games to predict, bro.
Andres has got 7.
Yeah.
So it's neck and neck for you
We'll
guys,
see.
at least. I'm
Yeah,
getting
'cause
some
you're-
separation.
Because you're always picking last, like a little bitch. That's why. How about
We'll
that?
see. We'll see who.
Shots fired.
We'll have to do a separate
How about
Champions.
that?
We'll have to
Shots
do.
fired with that one.
We'll have to do a Champions League one, maybe. You know.
That's a
Yeah,
hot
let
take.
me pick the game.
That's a hot take. Let me pick the games like that. All right, like that has any.
We'll just have to do.
Well,
We'll just have to do Champions.
Andres,
Champions League.
Andres helped me
getting
pick the
serious
games
in
today,
here.
so
Yeah, we got some good games.
it was equal.
Let's just say the picks are sparking up.
But yeah, once again, thanks if you're watching live, if you downloaded this on a stream or podcast, or saw it on YouTube. Thanks again. Give us a like, give us a share, comment, let us know who you support, why you support them. If you agree with any of our takes, let us know what you think. We want to be interactive.
If you think Frankie's gonna win the most picks, it's
So
getting-
far.
it's getting hot in
So
here.
far, we'll make our picks at the
Getting
end,
steamy.
and we'll give you a recap of how that's looking so far. But I'm winning. That's all you really need to know.
Humid and moist.
All right, so we'll start in probably the most competitive of areas, the Premier League in England. Last weekend, Liverpool is up by 22 points now. That's the largest margin at any point in the history of the Premier League. I'm not sure if that's like the top notch or the top tier in England, because the Premier League's only been a thing since '92, right? But that's
It's a big lead.
a big lead.
Yeah, they
and
beat
then-
Southampton.
While they're gaining ground, Man City lost to Spurs. Leicester, who's in third place, tied to the fourth place team, Chelsea. So it's a shambles there after Liverpool. Now Spurs beat City, which was, I guess, the big match of last weekend, right? Liverpool destroyed Southampton 4-0.
No
and
question there.
Yeah, and Salah had 2 goals.
They struggled a bit, but came out like champions on top.
It's hard to say they struggled when it was 4-0 though, right? But some of those goals came later, right?
The game and then that penalty call was a decisive play. I feel like
Or
you
no
coulda-
call?
I think you could have called that a penalty.
So Johnny's referencing a Fabinho
Yeah.
foul or a non-call on a
Just
foul
because there's an extra swipe, like, you know, if he's already down.
in the box on Danny Ings, the
Yeah.
former Liverpool player, and then didn't like right after that they
So-
go down the field and score right
so
after,
that's-
as a
that-
result.
So that's something to bring up. That's the new issue with VAR, that apparently in England that they let the play run until the ball is dead and then tell people what the result was. So that's causing controversy, because it's like, if they're going to call the VAR on the penalty call, they need to call it right away. They can't let the play develop and then be like, oh, I mean, or is VAR doing the opposite of what the game's intended to? Like, I don't know at that point, you know? The point of the game is to be fluid and to just, I don't know.
Be
the
correct.
Yeah, like, are they picking on the spot, or are they now going to stop the things to do the VAR decision? It's weird.
Well, speaking of VAR,
Well, you didn't think it was a penalty?
no,
Because that's when they scored, and then after that they scored like 4 more or
I've-
3 more. I'm sorry. So
I've seen those given.
I'm just saying.
I've seen those given. It's also the Premier League, right? And they want to maintain that
And
high bar, right?
Liverpool's at home, right?
At
Yeah.
Anfield.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that
I
tends
think
to
that
happen.
probably was. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, no,
To
I
be
definitely
honest.
have seen that given.
I think that's what that was. But
I've also seen penalties been given for less, right?
yeah, but it looks like the season has developed just how we called it all season. At least Frankie, I'll like remember every podcast where like, is this the year? And just it turned into what I said too. Liverpool is just dominant, and everyone else is just is fighting it out for like they're all taking each other's points for anything else. It looks like we got a battle for fourth. Tottenham just has Man City's card, and they dropped more points.
Fourth
right?
and 10th.
Well, yeah.
And then nothing changed with Leicester and Chelsea tying, so it was like, it's a battle for those three to four now. I feel like, you know, because if City starts losing more ground, because now they gotta really focus on the champs, and if like they let I don't know, we'll see.
Their guard
Do
down?
they even care anymore? Do they even care? It's 22 points for God's sakes.
Since you mentioned VAR, another match that had a lot of VAR implications, or I guess a lot of repercussions from VAR or lack thereof. Spurs versus City, right? In this match, Spurs won 2-0. It's the latest edition of Pep Guardiola versus Mourinho, right? Which is a battle, right? A crazy battle in their days in Spain, right? And probably the two biggest coaches, right? Arguably of the last, I guess, generation, you can say, right?
Yeah.
So there was all kinds of intrigue and all kinds of storylines behind this one, but very boring first half, honestly. City, although, okay, I'll give them credit, they created throughout, you know, chances throughout, and for the first 60 minutes they were kind of on top.
Yeah, I didn't see
now in the first half too, though, there was a Sterling foul. I think it was in 12 minutes. Raheem Sterling left his foot out. I can't remember who the player was on Spurs, but easily a red card. It was at the ankle and it was studs up. I've seen that one given a lot lately.
Sterling foul?
On Ali?
Yeah.
On Dele Alli. I've seen that one given a lot. So they actually went to VAR. Look at that. Ouch. Stamp right on the ankle.
Mm-hmm.
And VAR said there was no foul play. No foul play in that one, right?
I think that's I guess it's
a tough call. I mean,
it's a strong yellow.
Yeah.
It's a strong yellow.
Doesn't warrant a straight red
Because it's
card.
not like he's from behind or
it kind of looked like a stamp, right? And we've all seen stamps are usually straight reds, right? Or somebody stomping, right? That's what I mean by stamp.
Well, yeah, you're saying that's an intentional red
he's
card.
saying cleats up a little too high.
That's not intentional enough for, you know.
Okay.
No, that's definitely dangerous though.
Dangerous, but not like...
That's definitely dangerous because he's just already at the ankle and he still studs up.
Well, that wasn't given as a red. And then
they got a foul though.
City got a PK in the box, right? But thing is, it went to VAR and they took like 2 minutes to decide a PK for what I think was a pretty clear penalty too. In the end, they got the right decision.
2 minutes again, though. You see
but
it
took 2 minutes out, right? Now, as a result, it led to what Johnny's been pointing out, one of City's biggest weaknesses all season. What is it, Johnny?
Penalties.
The resulting penalty after the 2 minute long or minutes long VAR decision, Ilkay Gundogan misses the penalty. So now we've got Gundogan missing penalties.
I think it's just a mentality thing.
Aguero missing penalties. Jesus missing penalties. Silva, I want to say, missing penalties.
Now, not only does he miss the penalty, right, but right after Lloris makes the save, the ball rebounds and Sterling runs into the box and tries to make a play on the ball. And he takes what I think is a dive. I think it was a dive, but it looks like there might have been like minimal contact from Lloris on it. And debatably, I guess you could say there might have been a second penalty immediately after. But it doesn't get called. So yeah, and this was, again, mind you, I think all in the first half.
Sterling had 2 or 3 yellows. Ryan Dempsey.
Shout out to Ryan, who's a frequent
boy.
He's a friend of the show. Yeah, no, definitely. Again, I think he should have been sent off right there in the 12th. He should have been sent off immediately.
Who's City's penalty shooter? More importantly, it's Aguero, right? But like, he'll make like 4 out of 5 if he's lucky. He definitely more of a 3 out of 5 average. He misses.
Oh,
Aguero sometimes, yeah, but it's not
a
bad. It's a picky weakness. It's like a nitpicking weakness because City usually they did make a lot of chances, but again, not converting them.
And then when they don't convert them,
And Sterling left injured too.
Hamstring.
Notably.
Sterling left injured. Before that, though, Zinchenko gets a second yellow card, and
On a
Man City go down to 10 men
Yeah, dumb foul too.
on a dumb foul.
Yeah.
And then immediately after, from the set piece, Spurs score.
Bergeron.
The Dutch lad, Steven Bergwijn. Bergwijn scores.
He did this one.
The mask.
That's the
Nah,
celebration. Yeah.
Twisted mask or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it either, but 1-0, right? Scores a nice goal, chests it down, and then gets a nice little half volley on it into the corner. And then Son, right, gets a goal towards the end to seal it, 2-0.
Yeah, they weren't even expected to score, and
Well, because of the 10 men now. And then
well, just going into the game because they were playing Lucas
it's
up top.
definitely a game that gives Tottenham momentum to push for the top 4.
Do you see
like,
them in
you
the top
can't-
4?
I say it definitely gives them the momentum to push for the top 4, yeah. Especially with Chelsea looking shaky as of late, and then they didn't buy anybody, so Lampard's definitely risking it with just the lads, with the boys.
Well, since you mention it, after Spurs and Man City played on Sunday, but earlier though,
Lord Sunbeam.
Leicester City and Chelsea played to a 2-2 draw, right? So third and fourth place pretty much stayed the same. Johnny, again, they're in a rough patch. Both goals by Chelsea scored by Antonio Rudiger on headers.
Yeah. Good. They have a good amount of defenders, though. That's why Lampard didn't bother buying a defender, but I guess they didn't get no more attacking pieces, right? They didn't let go of anyone?
No,
right?
They didn't sell anybody, but they didn't reinforce, right? Which
I
you're
guess-
saying is going to be a problem?
I mean, I guess Pulisic is going to feel like a new signing when he comes back. It's about all they got, right?
If they can stay,
They got a lot of forwards, too.
Yeah, they.
Giroud.
Tammy Abraham.
And the other guy with the BT...
Batshuayi.
Yeah, and then if
Michy
when
Batshuayi.
Pulisic comes back, he'll be there, so they got
pieces.
William and Pedro. Those are all attacking pieces. So, yeah, I mean, they maybe could have used the mid, but they got pieces, so...
And Leicester hanging in there still, huh? Just when they had kind of a rough patch and you thought that were going to start to regress a little bit, they hang in there, right? 2 goals.
Yeah.
One from Harvey Barnes, right? Harvey Barnes, and then the other one from Ben Chilwell, the left back who's getting a lot of attention from a lot of teams.
Mainly City.
Yeah, I mean, possibly Man City. I've read about him generating interest from Man City. But then in another battle for the, I guess, top 4 or top 5 even, we had United versus Wolves. Wolves, consistent performer. United being, Man United, right? Played out to a 0-0 draw.
Debut of Bruno Fernandes, finally.
Yeah.
Debut of Bruno Fernandes, right? Igalo came on in this game too, right?
No.
Odion Igalo. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, you're wrong about that.
No, he didn't
But
play.
I don't know. He didn't. He definitely didn't start.
They said
I
that he
don't think
needs
they
training
had
stuff.
fight him by that time.
No, they bought him, but they're saying that he needs to get to match fitness because
But I'm
playing
saying,
in
I
the
don't think
Chinese
they had
league.
bought him by the time the game started.
Yeah, probably not
But
because he's coming all the way from China.
that's a weird. That was a late move. I feel like
It was a very late. No, it was a
Yeah.
desperate late. Nah.
They kind of need someone right now though in that hole just to
They do.
finish those shots.
Marshall's not finishing anything in sight.
And Rashford's
I
hurt.
saw a lot of shots from like Mata.
It was a scrappy game, and I guess it was
Bruno had a couple
it was
shots
a
on
fun.
goal, but
I saw the game. It was a fun watch. I mean, United looks okay, dynamic. I don't know what I want to say here, but
you think they still need another season?
they got Fernandez. He debuted. He didn't do bad.
Couple transfer windows. Yeah, he looks like he brings a little bit of what they need, right? A little bit of a spark in the midfield, a little bit of creativity.
Yeah, a little bit of youth, something, a little bit of something. Yeah.
Is he enough to keep Pogba at United? Is Pogba ever going to play again for United?
Yeah,
You guys,
he's gonna play again.
I say no. Yeah.
he's got to try to up the transfer value up, don't you think?
His transfer
I
value
don't-
because he's been
How does that
injured.
benefit him though? He don't care if he still leaves for
He
cheap.
probably gets paid more.
It'll give him more
it's-
leverage.
It's
Yeah.
in Man U's benefit to
Well, where do you see him then if he leaves? He's gonna play. He has to stay in form for Euros. I'm pretty sure, or else he's not gonna get called up.
He can get called up. I've seen that happen.
You just don't play all season.
You're just there. Yeah, then they'll just call you up for the Euros. Like, you've been resting all season, so now you're ready to get fit here.
I don't see why he wouldn't play, just to not get injured till the transfer
I just don't
window.
see him. I feel like
That would be the only
Fernandez
reason.
even replaces him, but I don't know. He's been injured for a long time with some ankle injury apparently. I don't know, but
Had surgery.
yeah, I don't know. And
Waiting out.
Rashford has been out, and they clearly have been needing him. But the tape, pretty much what happened was what we said. The gap at the top got larger, and then the gap in the middle didn't change at all. All the teams that needed to win tied, and Tottenham got the most out of this. They really came out winners on top.
Yeah,
this weekend.
They look like City's
Because
bogey team.
they jumped all the way up to 5th. Tottenham did.
Yep, they did.
But that from 3rd to like 8th is tight.
And then of course,
A lot of keywords today.
yeah. The Arsenal. I didn't even have them in my notes because I didn't even want to talk
I was
about
gonna
it that
talk.
much. But they did not have a good weekend. In
0-0
that part of North
Really?
London. Yep, it was a drab 0-0.
Hey, at least they're not losing, bro.
No, but I think if I'm not mistaken, that's 4 straight
Ties?
draws.
Yeah.
on like consecutively, which is
Yeah.
not good because they're sitting in 10th place. It was at Burnley, mind you, 0-0 at Burnley for Arsenal.
I mean, what do you expect from Arsenal this season, though?
I mean, not much, but
At least goals. Yeah.
10th is crazy.
Well,
Yeah, they're
10th,
acting up.
and everyone else is only separated by 2 points, so it's really not 10th place.
Yeah, fair.
Because
So you
it's 2
think-
points.
So
It's
you're
one
s-
game.
So you're saying Arteta turns it around in time? To
Yeah.
get them into the Europa spot still?
No, nah. You can't. It's not a miracle worker. Come on, bro. I mean, maybe Pablo Mari settles the defense, but
Pablo Mari, Cedric Suarez, right?
yeah, maybe.
Couple signings there.
I mean, they're definitely trending neutrally.
Yeah,
that's positive,
I
right?
didn't even have them in my notes for this week, yo. That's crazy.
They're just like draw, win.
Straight draws. Lacazette played terrible now that I think about it. Ozil went missing again, and it's just he gets paid so much money to just disappear, man. That's crazy. What happened? He at one point he had the most. He was what Kevin De Bruyne is now, and just dishing out assists like it's okay, like it's a regular thing, right?
Some of the goals he was scoring too, was pretty,
Nobody,
elegant.
I don't think anybody talks about this enough, but probably Ronaldo had one of his most productive and prolific periods at Madrid, getting assisted by Ozil, and he was mad when he left.
Is that when he scored like 60
He was
goals?
mad when he left, Yeah, absolutely, man. And now to see him do this, man, it sucks.
Yeah, that was his favorite player
It
to.
looks like he's just out there for the paycheck sometimes. But what
Well,
are
he
you
had
gonna
a
do?
lot of scandals with his political image.
He took a picture. It wasn't even a political thing. He took a picture.
Yeah,
and
but then it wasn't handled correctly, and I don't know, all that side shit. Or side stuff, probably,
But yeah, the Gunners are gonna gunner. In the middle of the week, we had a couple replays for the FA Cup. Liverpool beat Shrewsbury. They played the kids, right? It's like all the kids, like no first team players, and got the 1-0 result off a own goal. So Shrewsbury Town is
Yeah.
out of the FA Cup. Liverpool still in the thick of things for
They
all of
play-
their
they
competitions.
They play
they're still
Chelsea
in.
next.
They play Chelsea in the next round.
And I'm pretty sure Klopp's going to send everyone.
Well, yeah, the Klopp didn't go. He didn't coach. They had the U23 coach or manager coach. Yeah, run the show there.
It's pretty feasible they can win, the FA Cup.
They had all the kids there. Yeah,
The league is won. I'm sure, they sacrifice one match day, or you think they're always going to keep winning?
I think they just don't. I think they just think of it that they're gonna win every game at this point.
At this point, right?
And if they lose, they're just gonna be like, all right, we gotta pick it back up and fix it.
backtracking a little bit. Ryan says Ozil's playing like a guy who's bound for China. Where else would he go, right?
To get paid those amounts, yeah.
Next, yeah, probably.
His MLS.
I wish. I'll
China.
I'll definitely go see.
Not if he's gonna be
Ozil.
playing like this.
Maybe Japan.
I'll still go if Fire get him. Oof.
The Fire. Chicago Fire.
Yeah, no, China does that
Ooh.
though. They stay overpaying, but we'll see. Isn't there like a? I
Well,
might be
they're
wrong.
definitely not gonna go over there right now. No offense.
Well, no, I think there's
coronavirus.
no. I think there was a hiatus. I think they were stopping the league until they can
Yeah,
get
there
that
you
sorted
go.
out.
There you go.
Um,
So further notice, Ryan, no China activity
for Ozil, right?
Yeah, after this, maybe the virus goes away.
Yeah, but no, they're gonna have to sell him, right, to keep on building, right? If they want to give
Well,
Arteta a
apparently they're
chance of
gonna get rid
succeeding.
of everybody, right?
Yeah,
Because they definitely can't afford
well,
to keep everyone.
I think it's safe to say that a lot of teams are gonna clear out after this 22-point lead that Liverpool's got at the top. But also elsewhere in the FA Cup, Spurs had to play Southampton in a replay, and they barely eked it out, 3-2.
Yeah.
It was a great match, honestly, great cup tie.
Mourinho said the better team didn't win today. Trying to say, you know.
Yeah, he said his team. He was honest.
Yeah.
They weren't the best team on the day. Spurs played great, or sorry, Southampton played great, but Spurs win at the brink. Right? Didn't Son get a penalty at the end? Right?
I didn't see that game. Actually.
Yeah, Son got a penalty at the end. Sonaldo.
Well, then there you go. Mourinho has been finding some form out of these suckers.
But Premier League is kind of, sort of on a break. We thought there was supposed to be like a little break, which was the reason why Klopp didn't send the first teamers and didn't go to the FA Cup replay. But we have 4 matches this weekend. None of them really gets the paces, right? None of them really gets you going.
City, come on, bro.
Everton plays Crystal Palace tomorrow. Sheffield United plays.
You mean top 5 Sheffield? Top what? What are
Yeah,
they?
no,
Top
actually, props
6?
to Sheffield United, right? They're up there. They're in the fight for the top 5 as well. Brighton plays Watford tomorrow morning. Sheffield plays Bournemouth, and then Man City plays West Ham. Right? I almost wanted to do
Ooh.
Man City as the pick, but they're gonna crap on West Ham, man. West Ham is just giving out goals to people right now. I guess Everton versus Crystal Palace is kind of intriguing. Tomorrow at 6:30 in the morning Central Time. But you better believe
that's
I'm
a
not.
little early.
I mean, that's when I'm getting up for work. So, but regardless, yeah, we'll keep you posted on the Premier League, but it's going to be a little bit slower in the next week. Matches return next weekend, or next Friday, and then we got the Champions League on the horizon too for the English clubs. Elsewhere in Europe, in Spain, last weekend, Barcelona beat Levante.
Aye, aye, aye.
2 Lionel Messi assists to Ansu Fati, the 17-year-old La Masia product. And then Real Madrid beat Atletico Madrid in the derby, 1-0. I believe Benzema scored, right? Finally a goal from a forward there, Johnny?
Yeah. Finally.
Somehow, Messi's still in in first in La Liga scoring. He's got 14 goals. Benzema's got 13 quietly. I feel like
He
Benzema was
started
hot
hot.
to start,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
but both of the teams won. Both of the top 2 teams in Spain won last weekend, which means the gap stays the same. Real Madrid remains 3 points ahead of Barcelona. The interesting, or I guess shocking news this week in Spain was in the middle of the week in the Copa del Rey. All of the big teams were dumped out. Valencia lost. They lost to Granada, right? Villarreal were dumped out by Mirandes, which I think is a second division club.
Second division. Yeah.
Real Madrid and Sociedad played a thrilling match at the Bernabeu in which Madrid gave up 4 goals. Sociedad went through 4-3. And then hours later, or an hour later, Barcelona just lose a heartbreaker to Athletic
Last
Bilbao.
minute of the game.
In the last minute, Iñaki Williams gets a glancing little header to the far post past Ter Stegen.
Yeah.
Just excitement on a Tuesday and Wednesday, right? So now, as things stand, again, all the giants of Spanish football are out of the Copa del Rey. Barcelona went 6 years consecutively going to a final. They won't be there this year.
Yeah, that's all.
They've won like 9 out of the last 10 or something like that.
Yeah, they were in the 6 consecutive finals,
Yeah,
which is
6
crazy,
consecutive.
and they won 4 of those 6. So
I mean, I like the new cup format. It leads to games like this where
in the middle of the season, though,
underrepresented teams. I mean, because sometimes they're just playing 2 legs for formality. Everyone knew Barcelona over 2 legs was gonna win.
Well, that just leaves the two biggest teams in the tournament being the Basque clubs, Sociedad and Bilbao. I think they're the favorites, but they might get drawn against each other. Who knows? Because Granada is just this. They just got recently promoted, right, into La Liga. And Mirandes. Sorry.
Well, it just adds excitement to the cup.
Mirandes.
Otherwise, you're gonna have the same two teams winning every year. This is probably why they changed it, because they're like, you know what, Barca can win this every year, and no other team was ever gonna win it.
Well, the reason I bring it up is not only because they were unexpected results, not only were they shocking results, but what does this mean for these teams going forward? We've got, I guess, kind of a battle for La Liga there. No, we definitely have a battle for La Liga there. And then the Champions League is coming. So we mentioned there was some key absences for Real, right? They didn't play there. Varane was out, Carvajal was out, Courtois was out,
Mendy.
and possibly even more crucial.
No, Mendy.
Mendy was out, but I mean,
Mendy's like their best.
Marcelo is also not like a slouch either.
Yeah,
you know?
I would still like Marcelo.
It's not
Ahead of
But
him.
Mendy has been outperforming Marcelo all season.
Casemiro was probably the most crucial absence, right?
Best center defensive in the world.
Dude, so you think it's nothing to make of? Honestly, I don't think it's make up of it too much, because props to Real Madrid. Not my favorite team in the world, but they went 21 or 22 matches unbeaten. They hadn't lost since October.
Yeah, they were.
After that, they got rocked by PSG in the Champions League. They got their shit together.
Behind Liverpool, there's a second team. They have the second least goals scored against.
And more specifically than getting their shit together, what Johnny's been saying consistently and driving home is they've been really organized defensively. So, I mean, I saw Sergio Ramos starting. I don't think Nacho's not a starter for them, but I don't think he's like a bad Madrid player either, you know?
Well, yeah, he's good. He's underrated, low key.
So
Sociedad hit their shots.
On the Carvajal is also very underrated and does great. Valverde is the revelation, and he's in the mid, just
destroying
an engine
plays
for them. Yeah, an engine for them, and for Cruz or Modric come in, and they kind of provide that attack too.
So nothing to panic about. It's just the first loss in a long time.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, I think, from you.
I'm not
I think
panicking.
it was a little bit panicking to fans for sure, because it was at home and they let 4 goals in. That's unacceptable.
Well,
especially because when they're trying to find form for the champions, I guess I did look at it. It's still 2 weeks away. I thought it was like this week already.
No, it's one more match week and then
So I'll say, I mean, I would have wanted them to win, and because Barca, I don't know, don't even get me started on Barca either. They lost 2. They played well, but it's still like
they both played well.
It's just you can't say Madrid played well.
Well, I mean, given what they had, they still were able to.
What do you mean, given
goals.
what they had? They had a great squad out. Get out of here, and they still lost at home.
So you're saying
that's why it was a little concerning or whatever. Like they just didn't. They had a bad game. They're kind of.
No credit to Sociedad for hitting those tough shots.
Sociedad's playing well right now.
Well, yeah. Then they
Odegaard.
should be. Then they're worried about Sociedad. I don't know.
I'm just saying it's a cup game, and from what it is, you know, can't expect them to win every game, because all those players are the key as to why they haven't been losing. That's mainly their best defense. So I'm not surprised by the result. But it just goes to show how good all those players are together.
Just sounds like excuses from you of why they can't not start Casemiro and not win a game. Is that really what you're telling me?
Is he the crucial player?
That's really what you're telling me.
Yeah.
And I hope they go far with just Casemiro as their main.
Well, I mean,
he's just a good defensive midfielder for them. But you can't tell me that they didn't win because he didn't play.
That's the big reason why they didn't win.
No. You gotta be kidding me.
I mean, he's probably... And I think you would agree with this, Johnny. When Zidane took over, probably his 2 biggest things, and you and I were 2 that didn't give him any credit for being a real manager, right, or a tactician. The 2 things I think he did and that initially brought him a lot of success was, 1, start Casemiro instead of playing all the stars, like you were saying earlier, right? And also benching Ronaldo at times, which worked because he then became a beast in the Champions League, and they won 3 in a row, right?
He'd be fresher.
And now he still does things like that, right? He still uses Casemiro. And honestly, Casemiro, easily top 5 center defensive mids in the world.
Top 3.
I don't know.
Top 5.
Top 5 for sure. And we can have that conversation another time,
That's
right?
Fabinho.
But he's an important player. He's an important player for Madrid, right? There aren't too many solid players in his mold, right? And he scored a brace not too long ago, right? So I would say the defense was not a big deal. I would kind of agree with Andres with this one, Johnny. Casemiro not being there for Madrid. They don't have another player who plays like him in the mid.
This kid Valverde supposed to play defensive too? He
like
does. That's what he does, though.
He's like an 8. He's all energy. He's like.
And then they still got Cruz, who is known to play in that position as well.
Cruz
and Modric too.
Valverde and Brahim.
And
or James actually wasn't.
And Benzema's played too. Madrid just has the benefit of having a deeper team, and they still lost with that deeper team.
Well, speaking of
Real
deeper team,
Sociedad,
Vinicius had a nice game at the end.
Who's also 18 years old or whatever, right?
Yeah.
This is the. But Zidane will be a wild card and be like, you know what? Next game, I'll play Bale because I just got him too.
Well, where it wasn't a big deal for
Isco.
For Madrid, possibly it's a big deal for Barca, right? They're in shambles. I would agree, Ryan. They're in transition.
Players off the bench.
I guess what we can at least agree on, we talk about this a lot, right? Johnny thinks that they need to rotate the midfield. If Busquets is going to be the lone or the one guy who's in every match, or for the big matches, they need to rotate, right, to see what the best combination is. I would argue that Frankie de Jong is best suited to be in that pivot, I guess, the pivot, right, or the pivote, right, whatever they call it.
The 6,
the deep lying,
right? So I don't know. I guess we don't know, right? Vidal's been performing well there, right? But he's obviously not a permanent solution. Rakitic has been getting some game time, but hasn't been as convincing. Piqué limped out of this match against Athletic, right? Because Iñaki Williams had him running all over the place.
He also had to drag him down, and Iñaki dragged him like 30 yards.
The tactical yellow card, yeah. They're in shambles. I mean, I guess we can agree that the problems went far, and we've talked about it, far than just Valverde, right? Institutionally. This week we had Eric Abidal and Messi fighting in the media, right? Yeah, Abidal came out and said that players had gotten lazy, right, or didn't like how things were going under Valverde, and Messi said, hey, if you're going to throw people under the bus, throw people under the bus, right?
Say their
names, right?
Because then he's just tarnishing all of them.
Right, and that's a big deal, right? Because Messi never says anything, right? So now people are talking about Messi's going to leave, right?
Yeah,
but
Man City, bro.
Honestly, if anybody calls the shots in Barcelona, it's Messi, right? And what this has proven, again, is it's not just Valverde. I agree, Valverde was probably, he had to go, but the problems run deep. They are in shambles. There's no real transfer strategy. There's no succession plan to Messi. It's an aging squad.
Panic buys.
De Jong is one for the future, and I think he's going to be one of their great players later, right? But I don't know what the fix is right now. I guess Setien has got them playing a little bit better. They're retaining the ball more. They're starting to press and try to get it back a little bit quicker. But there's still a little bit of a little cutting edge missing there, right? They definitely don't entertain, right, Johnny? Which is your biggest complaint, right? And that's just because we're spoiled, right? The Barcelona was not just winning; they entertained before, right? This team is nothing.
Well, they were still entertaining with Suarez. Yeah. Suarez was a main contributor there, but I mean, no one really gets excited for Fati and Griezmann front three. And then for the Copa game, they didn't even play Griezmann. They kept him on the bench, so. Probably to keep him fresh for La Liga games, but no one was really excited about, the midfield or some of the players.
You see them going out to Napoli in the next round of the Champions?
I mean, wins fix everything, right? So if Barca starts just winning, that's what, I don't know. They'll just shut us up, but I'm not convinced they will. I think they can get past Napoli, but they're definitely going to have trouble with...
Rumors of Messi possibly playing hurt.
Or like I think what Messi said too was that
Messi Ronaldo for Juve.
Yeah, I think damn, I lost my train of thought. The thing for Barca is that they're just it's tough. The defense, there's PK and who's the defense? They just have no
Long way.
Umtiti's been playing now since he returned from injury.
Well, Titi has to play the next game because PK is also suspended.
Pretty much Barca goes as Messi goes, so
and he's possibly
that's
hurt.
About it. Yeah.
They're saying he might have, was it a thigh or hip thing, possibly, right?
Yeah, a thigh thing in here.
It's just all problems with Barca and no solutions, and people are kind of getting fed up with just all the negativity being thrown at them.
I don't think it's negativity. I think it's the expectations that Barca has as a institution.
Oh no, they failed. They failed in that.
I think they're just not willing to try stuff because the players that they have are not suited to do what they think they're gonna do with how Barca's playing. I don't even see like they should be doing mad through balls to Griezmann and picking him up right away, and Messi coming in right behind like as backup, not still just trying to find Messi and see what he does.
Barcelona is a club where you have to play a certain way, though. You have to play like the 4-3-3.
Yeah, but we've seen teams already. We've seen Barca teams. They just pick up the forwards and they go up top. You pick up David Villa. You pick up Henry. You pick up.
Yeah, over the top.
You gotta pick up these players up. They'll be in the wings, cut inside, and go in. And they're not doing that. You can't tell me that they're doing that. And that's what they're supposed to be doing too.
Somewhat is.
Yeah, because if not, like I've seen that happen, and this team's just not. I don't think they're dynamic enough in the mid. Like they don't have no one that controls and dictates.
Well, there's another round of matches.
No one
this weekend in La Liga, so another round for these teams to test themselves before the Champions League returns.
Big games.
Barca plays Betis, which I think is a pretty big game. We'll see if they recover.
Former Saitian team.
Elsewhere in Europe, we go further east. In Italy, Serie A, Juventus remain first place. They beat Fiorentina off of 2 more penalty kick goals from Cristiano Ronaldo. I should have just said goals, right? I'm sorry. The hater in me had to specify that they were penalty kick goals. Yeah. But he's now on a tear, folks. He scored in his 9th consecutive Serie A match. Cristiano Ronaldo starting 2020 hot with a vengeance.
Steamy.
Right? Bro, for a striker, that's like candy, just penalties?
I don't think it's a coincidence. I think we've talked about it before, but he was hurt. And since the start of December, he's been healthy and just killing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 35 just turned his birthday.
Let's see if he can continue this. Juve plays Lyon in the Champions League, which I don't think is the toughest draw for them, right? But
not at all, yeah.
This is where the Juve will prove themselves, right? Because elsewhere, Inter won against Udinese 2-0. Lukaku, who's been another kind of resurgent player, right? Remaking his name in Italy. I believe he's up to 14 or 15 goals now in Serie A, but he scored a brace. So Inter won to maintain pace. Lazio, they drew 0-0. They didn't win. Juventus in first place. But for the first time in a long time, it looks like it can be a 3-team race here.
Now it's looking like a race, Frankie.
Yeah, well, when Juve lost to Napoli, I never saw that coming, right?
Yeah, Napoli, but
Napoli was in bad form.
They beat the big teams
under Gattuso.
Juve, Lazio, and Sampdoria.
That's really what made. And then Lazio was one of those teams you expect to right now start regressing, right? And they haven't. They've been there. So right now Juve is at 54 points.
They're kind of like a Leicester City almost in the EPL. They're just still kind of hanging in there, but they're scoring.
Just like in Spain, the gap is at 3. Inter is 3 points behind on 51, and Lazio is just 1 point behind Inter. So 4 points separate first place to third place, and then there's a steep drop off after. Atalanta's in fourth place, and they've only got 39 points. So there's a 11 point drop off from third to fourth there in Italy. Ronaldo's form is impressive. And again, I would still argue we haven't seen the best of Juve. They haven't fully got the whole, I guess, if you still want to call it sorry ball, right?
Yeah.
We always go back and forth on what their best midfield is like, right? Do they start Dybala, Higuain, and Ronaldo all the time? That's a lot of questions with Juve still, but I guess.
But they can't really experiment a week before you're champions. You know, they kind of have to.
And not with Inter right there, right? And Inter just bought a whole bunch of players in the window, so they're breathing down their neck. It's the first time in a long time. There was a couple of years there when Napoli looked like they were going to push, right, Juve, and it didn't end up happening. And now it looks like there's a team or two that can possibly push them. So we'll see there. But if Ronaldo can keep up the scoring run, if he continues to get service, right, from players like Dybala, I mean, I guess it won't matter in Italy at least, right?
Well, I think Eriksen transforms Inter, but I have Inter winning the league since the beginning of the season. Since they added Eriksen.
Hot take there. Inter Milan, first year under Conte. Conte wins another championship in his first year back.
Yeah, I think that's what he does. I mean, I think that's what I was talking about beginning of the season, but I mean they hung in there, and now they have Eriksen, so I think he does a lot of work there.
Well, other than England and France, where the top team has a pretty sizable lead, all the three remaining big top leagues, or top 5 leagues, sorry, are pretty close. The other one, Bundesliga action. This past weekend, Bayern Munich finally got back into first place. They beat Mainz 3-1. After Leipzig had tied Mönchengladbach. So Leipzig at the time was first. They tied the third place team, which gave Bayern the edge. Bayern is up now 1 point over Leipzig. Dortmund is 3 points behind Bayern. And 2 points behind Leipzig, and Gladbach is still in there, actually tied on points with Dortmund, and actually they're in the Bundesliga, 1st through 7th. First through 7th are only separated 1st through 4th. My fault. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place right now.
3 points.
Yeah, they're only separated by 3 points. It's tight up there at the Bundesliga. It's exciting. High scoring action. That Leipzig Gladbach was 2-2. Dortmund blew out Union Berlin 5-0. Haaland keeps on scoring. He had another goal. Jadon Sancho's into double digits in goals and assists again.
Well, I think they put more emphasis on scoring.
Who is
the whole league?
The whole league?
Yeah.
Well, I think
the top 3. I think have like more than 50 goals.
It was an interesting stat I was reading that
plus 28, I think.
The Bundesliga has almost like the least amount of crosses played into the box, which means they're keeping the ball on the deck, right? They're finding ways to pass it almost into the goal, right? But yeah, excitement. These games are high scoring, they're thrilling, and you could see it at the top.
Does this translate though to like against the top leagues in terms of quality?
I think so. Dortmund and Bayern are still in the Champions League, right? Is there a third?
Dortmund would have to play PSG. How does it line up with an offense like that?
Dortmund, Bayern,
RB.
Oh yeah,
RB.
Leipzig is still in there too.
Yeah,
Leipzig
there,
plays Spurs. Yeah.
So I mean, does this take? Are we not saying these offenses seriously?
No, the Bundesliga is where it's at. I mean, you guys might.
In terms of offense, I think so.
Possible hot take right now. And we go about this
the best offensive league
all the time. If I were to, my rank of the top 5 right now, the top 5 leagues in Europe, I go Premier League, I go Bundesliga, then I go La Liga, Serie A, and League One. In that order.
Hot take with the Bundesliga.
Yeah, I mean, look at that gap, man. You got the 4 teams competing. Leverkusen's only a little bit behind that. Schalke can get there too. Schalke and Leverkusen are tied, right? Like,
yeah, Timo Werner has 20-something goals already?
In Spain, it's 1 and 2, right? And then Atletico's fallen back a little bit. And Italy, and again, Italy's looking competitive for the first time in a long time. Like, don't get it twisted. Yes, it's competitive, but people are acting like, oh man, no, man. Italy's been a shambles for a long time. We're talking about Juventus winning 8 years in a row, right? That hasn't been competitive. It's starting to, which is promising because again, we grew up in a time where Serie A was amazing. It was the best league on the planet, going neck and neck with Premier League. So I'm glad to see some competition, but this is new. This is new. This is a new thing. It hasn't been like this. So
well, the other teams besides like Bayern and RB both have like a designated striker, and Timo Werner and Lewandowski. So their teams are kind of like based off their form as well. But like other teams like Dortmund, they have a bunch of weapons, and Sancho, Royce, Haaland will keep scoring.
He scored in the cup too.
Yeah,
He's
he has
crazy.
like 8 goals.
Yeah.
I think his stat is like every 19 minutes he has a goal or something like
That's
that.
insane. I think it might be a little bit more than that, but in any case,
No, I think it's like 19 minutes.
it's ridiculous.
He's only played like 3 games. He has like 8 goals.
Oh, Helen.
Yeah, hell.
And then most of the matches he's played, he's coming in as a sub. I think he's only started once or twice.
Yeah, so they have a lot of like offense.
A lot of offense, but a lot of questions on defense too. Dortmund makes a lot of silly mistakes in the back.
Yeah, I mean, I probably agree with right now. Yeah, the Bundesliga has a lot more to offer than La Liga.
I think it's more competitive and it's interesting, but
And that's it. There's a difference in it being a better league and more competitive then.
yeah, but I mean, we'll see in the champs too. I think that it's the same thing that you're pointing out, that the teams they're scoring a lot, but like Dortmund's defense isn't the best, and I want to say RB is still
A tier below,
Yeah,
like, the
like to
leagues.
consider them some. Yeah, I mean they're like
They're
a
an
dark
upstart.
horse. Yeah. So
Blew a bunch of money.
yeah, so Dortmund's got a tough draw in the Champions League, and RB got Tottenham, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
RB got
that should
Spurs.
be pretty even, if anything. So yeah, that would be a good game.
And then
But
Bayern and Chelsea.
I think there's definitely a race. RB, Bayern, and Dortmund are gonna go to the wire. It looks like, right? 3-point leader. How much point? 1 lead? 1 point lead?
1 point lead over Leipzig, and then Dortmund 3-point lead over Dortmund and Gladbach.
And the big game this weekend too, right, Frankie?
Big game this weekend, yeah. We got Leipzig versus Bayern, so Bayern may be
Top
able to
of the
get a little
table.
bit of separation there, or Leipzig can go top,
Yeah, it's
or maybe they tie him at the top. Or no,
it's
they
a
can't.
6-point game. Yeah, 6-point game if one of
The
them.
classic 6-point game, right?
Premier League #1. You got some people agreeing with you.
I guess no. You can, I mean, I agree, Ryan. You can't say it's #1 when you got so many points, but I mean, you got to say the level.
It's elevated. I mean,
Right, like look at a team like Wolves, right? Everton and Crystal Palace, I'd say, could crush some of the mid-table teams in some of the other leagues, right? And I talk about this with Johnny all the time too. In Spain, come on, I'd rather take a Valencia and a Villarreal and an Atletico over a Fiorentina, right, or a Napoli, right? Or am I crazy?
I like Napoli.
Am I crazy?
I like
Right? Like that's
Napoli.
what I'm basing it off of. Not necessarily the top teams, right? But if the teams right under, right? The 2 tier and the 3 tier in Spain would beat, I think, that in Italy easily.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in Italy, yeah.
Right? And in Germany though too. Germany, I think in the last 10 years has played a really dynamic type of football, at least domestically in the league, right? Where it's a combination of both, possession, but also very kind of physical and very fast play, right?
A lot of young coaches though there, and like Klinsmann's there,
Klinsmann's back, yeah.
Hoffenheim. So yeah, I mean they have if like Johnny said, sometimes you just need a lot of good coaches in the same league for it to also elevate. Good players, good coaches, and
Yeah, Leverkusen they've got players too. It's
Kai
a
Havertz.
there's a lot of stuff.
Leon Bailey.
Yeah. So
so
yeah, I definitely recognize that the league has not blown up, but definitely elevated
They're standing.
their game with all the teams doing good, and just it's gonna go down to, I don't know who I got. I want to say Dortmund, but
it's a tricky draw.
When you saw the meme when he's just like Majin Buu,
No, I haven't
too
seen that one.
funny.
Who is?
Erling Haaland,
Yeah.
the Majin Buu memes.
No, I haven't seen that
No,
one. No.
they're crazy.
I might have to look those
They're
up.
so funny, yeah. But that's a good
Good
race.
take.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's pretty much all we got for Europe right now. We're gonna make our picks at the end of the show here, of the cast. But we're gonna bring things, I guess, closer to home. We're gonna bring things a little bit local for a bit. Kind of a fan request here. I've been trying to get better about it. We're gonna talk a little Liga MX here. It's been just a couple weeks into the season. And we're actually watching the match right now. Tijuana's playing Toluca. Shout out Xolos are up 1-0. He does look like Majin Buu.
Yeah,
I
he
just
looks
saw
like
it.
Majin Buu.
Holy crap. Why did you
Super
show
Majin
that
Buu.
to me? You're fucking me up.
Super. Yeah, everyone, if you want to go see the Haaland meme, it's just Haaland looking at like Super
Erling
Boo.
Haaland does look like Majin Buu.
But he
now.
looks like Majin Buu.
Oh,
Like,
wow,
straight up.
side by side.
Super Boo though, the one after
Yeah, he's a beast.
he just comes out really just buff and terrorizes everyone.
He's a beast.
But yeah, it's early goings in La Liga, or sorry, in
We're
Liga
after watching
MX.
it, yeah.
We're only 4 matches in. We're at the start of match day 5. And things are interesting. I mean, again, it's early going still, but all the big teams have shown a little bit of inconsistency and a little bit of patchiness, right? Like the current champions in Mexico, Monterrey, dead last right now. They've got 2 losses and 2 draws. My team, Cruz Azul, doing Cruz Azul things, right? They're a win, a draw, 2 losses. They played a thrilling match against Toluca, 3-3. And that's the cool thing about Liga MX. You get a 3-3 match all of a sudden.
You just don't know what you're going to get.
On a Sunday at noon. It was great. America lost in the middle of the week to Puebla.
HALA.
The Chivalacticas, Chivas, just got a brand spanking new team of young Mexicans, right? They've only got 6 points right now. They got 3 draws, right? But they've been playing some interesting football, some exciting football too, right? Pumas has been up there.
Pumas has been leading the pack.
And that's a little bit of a shocker, but also a pleasant thing to see because Pumas is one of those historic teams in La Liga MX.
I know a lot of Pumas fans randomly, or not randomly. They're from Mexico City too, right, or whatever.
They're one of the 4 grandes. And then Atlas, the other team from Jalisco, right, Johnny? They got blown out yesterday. Morelia beat them. They, of course, have a new coach. They were the first team in Mexico this season to change coaches. Querétaro, too. Don't look now, but Querétaro's looking nice. They're in second place. And León, León in first place as of right now. Only the 1 loss. Again, probably a lot to happen, but...
Pachuca just beat Tigres, too.
Yeah, Tigres, another one of the big ones showing inconsistency. What do you think of that, Johnny? Why is Monterrey looking like they're hung over on the championship right now?
It's just the start of the season, and it's what you said. It's the Liga MX, bro. This thing is wild. Where how you're saying you'll pick your quiniela,
Yeah.
and then you finish seeing the game, you thought it ended a certain way. You find out the next day you lost the quiniela because your team tied randomly.
Well, yeah, I got a lot of friends who kind of jokingly and sometimes seriously laugh at me for supporting MLS and being so into the fire, right? But Mexico, guys, is where it's at. At the very least, if you don't support a team, if you don't know what's going on, the games are fucking exciting. Right now, we're watching a 1-0 that's going to go down to the wire because there's only 10 minutes left. So everybody's going to be throwing it, full on attack. Santos and Puebla, right, is the other one, Rafa. They're 2-1 right now. Just high-scoring affairs. Morelia scored 3 on Atlas yesterday. Very, very entertaining, right? There's a lot of people who say that soccer's boring, they're low-scoring. Liga MX isn't true to that. If you want some exciting soccer, watch Liga MX. Now,
Pure entertainment, right?
2 things I want to bring up about La Liga. Johnny, you might be able to answer this. I'm interested to hear your take on this, but there recently, in the last 5 years, it looked like there was going to be a boom in young Mexican players going to Europe, right? And there kind of was. Tecatito's out there. Herrera's still out there.
Edson Alvarez.
Govea, right, is out there playing in Belgium. Edson Alvarez just went. Lainez, both Alvarez at Ajax and Lainez at Betis aren't getting a whole lot of playing time. But it looks like we're kind of lagged on that now, right? So why do you think that is?
I feel like we had already identified that we were going to be lagging in talent since we didn't make anything with the whole stemming back from the Vela Gio generation. Once we didn't win it with them, we didn't really. I mean, we picked up more good squads. The next squad would, because that's the same squad from the Copa Oro or the Gold Medal.
Cup, Gold Medal, yeah, in 2012.
But I think the bigger thing is, or not the bigger thing, the answer is that honestly, the talent that we're developing is just failing in Europe. There's no way around it. They're not really succeeding right now. The only player at all is just Jimenez that I can name off my head that is doing...
Raul?
Yeah, that's it. But he's like a superstar right now, to be honest. So I know I bring up that I don't see anything immediate from Mexico, because like another thing about the league is that it's so many foreigners, and I guess that really takes away the chances for that talent to develop in the league. Where how you said there's so much low key money on the line in these games that like
Don't they
owners
over?
are like, we're not gonna get a young kid to develop and we're gonna just play whatever immediate. And
Chucky too, getting no playing time.
I'm
at
telling you, there's
Napoli.
no one. I'm saying there's no one good in Europe besides
Chucky Lozano.
Jimenez. You can't name me another Mexican.
Look at this list that Rafa's scrolling through right
Hector
now.
Herrera.
Look at
Yeah.
here's the shocking
Hector
thing.
Herrera
Look,
too.
Lozano, right? Keep scrolling, Rafa.
Okay.
HH, right? Now at Atletico, cool. Ochoa back in Mexico,
None of them are
right?
doing good,
Guardado still in Europe, but he's old. He's 31.
31?
Chicharito back in America. He's in MLS now. Jimenez whipping in work. Probably the best Mexican player abroad. Layun back in Mexico now.
Yeah, there's
Araujo still in
Still
Celta
Celta.
Vigo, but I think he's injured currently. Hector Moreno playing in Qatar, right? Or Saudi Arabia somewhere. Fabian, he's going out there now too. He's going to go play with Moreno. He recently played in Philadelphia for the MLS. And then scroll up a little bit. The other guys right above that, all back in Mexico. Salcedo, back at Tigres. Antuna,
Chivas.
at Chivas Lácticas. Jesus Corona, no, Tecatito's still out there. Pollo Briseño at Chivas Lácticas, right? Alanis just left Chivas Lácticas for MLS. So, yeah, they're just not getting playing time, I think, more than anything,
Yeah,
Johnny.
I think that might make the league better, to be honest, than the Mexican league.
You
Having
think
all
so?
These players, yeah.
Now then,
but not for the selección.
That's another thing.
They're not the same level as playing in Europe. I think if they want to develop that team, that everyone has to start sending talent out to like Europe, like how the South Americans do it. They price them real cheap so they have a shot at least. Otherwise, like the owners are gonna try to make too much bank off these players.
I think exactly what Andres has said. Mexican owners have always kind of overvalued these players, where European clubs can go get a quality Argentine player, a quality young Brazilian player for less money, right? Or just about the same. And both Brazil and Argentina are tried and true, developers.
But even
right?
the Mexican teams will rather get the
Argentines and the Brazilians too, right? That's a problem. I think another issue too, and one that I was going to ask you because of my connection to the MLS. There's a lot of players leaving Liga MX for MLS. Did you ever think you'd see the day for that? I never thought, because Liga MX pays these players better, right? But we have talks and whispers. We've heard rumors of Pizarro leaving champion Monterrey all winter long, right? We were hearing first for the Fire. That didn't materialize. We're hearing now that Inter Miami could possibly break the bank for him. There's countless other players who came back. Lucas Cavallini, who's a Canadian striker, left Puebla to go to play at Vancouver. Your boy Puligol left Chivas to go play for Kansas City. And Kansas City dropped $9 million on him, by the way. So there's a lot of riding on that. There's the other guy, Jara, the striker who was at Pachuca. He's Argentinian, but he left to go play in MLS too.
Damn, he was a beast. He
Yeah,
won a title.
Why are they all flocking to MLS now? Is MLS attractive to these players now? Is it the quality of life, right? I think Edson Alvarez in an interview said he's still young and he wants to continue at Ajax, obviously, and in Europe, but he wants to go to MLS because that's a big thing for him. He said the quality of life in the country is a big thing. So is that what's swaying these players all of a sudden to go to MLS instead of Liga MX? Or is everybody seeing Carlos Vela and seeing like, damn, I could do work in MLS?
I mean, if they can stand out, with like Vela or some of the other stars in this team, in the league, they could definitely have a shot maybe at Europe as well. Maybe a lot easier than Liga MX.
I think it's definitely the money, that the money's there for
Or the
one.
money.
I didn't think it happened this quick, but I don't think it's a bad thing, and then it ends up being a good option, and then all these other benefactors from going to the MLS, because I know for one I'm excited because now we can be like, damn, Chicharito's playing at the Fire today, or Pulido's gonna be in town, or
Vela's coming,
Vela or Jonathan, I'm sorry, so it's like I don't know how far it will take the MLS, because how you said that these players are getting paid a lot and then it's like a big drop off for the rest of the teams. So it's like the teams are kind of just trying to have random franchise players to market the MLS better. But I think what's really happening and that's cool is that the MLS and the Liga MX are kind of turning into one league, where like now we have all these super CONCACAF champion games, and it's like that's turning into our like mid season or whatever, like our little cup games, and it's like that allows the teams to play over there and over here, and that's pretty cool. And that's more opportunities for like us to go see games that might be the Fire versus Toluca or something, you know?
Yeah.
And if those teams all start getting stars too, it'll make it a lot funner and eventually just bring up
The level.
football or soccer here a lot more. So I think in general, just positive. But I think what you said too, the quality of life, and they're just closer to home. And it's like, it's not like they're far from Mexico from here.
Do you see them merging in the future?
I don't know about merging, but they're definitely...
They play cups together.
MLS is always trying to get as many competitions as they can against Liga MX to prove that they're at the level or getting to it, you know? And we've had now, for the last couple of years, where MLS teams have gotten close, but never, like, convincingly where, you know, like, I think Toronto took Chivas in the final pretty close. I think Atlanta actually... Probably no. Did Atlanta?
I think it was against Tigres, but
either way,
there's definitely been more games.
It's starting to get closer. Yeah. But yeah, we kind of drifted away from Liga MX there a little bit.
Sounders.
Check out Liga MX this weekend. There's always a thrilling game on. It's always on Univision. You can watch those for free without any problem. Get excited for MLS too. It's coming back at the end of the month.
Inter Miami.
The Fire kicks off the season against the current champion Seattle Sounders in Seattle. The Fire actually don't play at home until almost like a month until the season. I got my tickets for the opener. I didn't notice until he pointed it out, but it's really close to Johnny's birthday. So we'll see what's up about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, on to the final segment of our podcast here.
The picks. So how many do you have, Frankie?
Six matches that we're going to pick for you guys.
In total, how many points? You have 10 points?
How many points? Okay, so just to recap,
because apparently this
going to be our
matters.
fourth round of picks.
Right.
After 3 rounds of making picks so far, I have 10 correct picks out of a possible 18. Andres has 7 out of a possible 18. And Johnny has 6 out of a possible 18.
Yeah, so we're basically on par.
Not really. Frankie has the lead.
Well, it's
No,
close.
without Frankie, yeah. There's some tough
6.
games, though.
But yeah, go for it.
This weekend, again, just to remind you guys, there's only some Premier League matches. Get the fuck out of here, guys. This is what I'm talking about. We're watching Tijuana Toluca right now. Tijuana was up 1-0. There's 3 minutes left in the match. Tijuana scores the equalizer. I'm sorry, Toluca scores the equalizer. The emotion of Mexican football. You need to watch
this guy's
it.
haircut. Look at it.
It just went to 1-1. It's on 1-1 now. Amazing. Thrilling. Sorry. But yeah, since there's no English football, there is English football, but the games are kind of whack. And I don't really feel like calling all of us picking Man City over West Ham.
No disputes
Right.
unless you want to wake up for Crystal Palace.
So this weekend we're spewing heavily towards other parts of Europe. So we'll start in
Italy.
in Germany with a match that has a lot of implications. We're gonna start with first place versus second place, separated by a point currently. Bayern Munich, who's the home team, will play against RB Leipzig.
Yeah, I got Bayern.
That was quick. Andres.
Yeah.
He loves Bayern.
Yeah, he does love Bayern. He's already picking
No,
them
I
for
think
their-
they're just gonna show their quality overall. I mean,
guys,
RB has a good team, but
Lewandowski's got 35 goals in all competitions. That's fucking crazy.
yeah, he has a lot of goals.
Take a tie.
You
Tie
to draw.
or RB. Yeah.
Draw. You can't pick 2, dude.
Trying to see what you pick. Apparently.
I picked
Huh?
Bayern.
I'm gonna pick Red Bull, man.
Oh.
Sorry,
Team
they're
all
not really
winner?
Red Bull. I'm sorry, but I'm picking Leipzig.
Team all
I actually
winner?
kind of hate Leipzig because of what they did and how they did it. But
Why
they're
is
playing
that?
some pretty interesting football with some young, fast players. The last couple weeks they've been a little bit off. I think they're due for a win.
Yeah. I think something. So I'll stay my draw.
And yeah, let's see the Bundesliga stay competitive.
Yeah, me too. if Bayern wins, they'll get some big separation, but
So
they're
you
at
don't
home.
see
But
them
I
winning?
think both teams will score, and it should be
I'm going out on
a good game. Yeah.
I'm going out on a little bit of a limb and saying that Leipzig wins away here.
Yeah,
It should be a
that's
big
little
result.
bit of a limb.
But then, yeah, I
What'd
got
you say?
Leipzig.
I said tie.
Johnny got the draw. Andres got Bayern. Andres has Bayern. All right. Elsewhere in the Bundesliga, another intriguing one at the top of the table. Leverkusen's at home against Borussia Dortmund. Does Haaland keep on scoring? First of all, yeah, I think so, yes.
Yeah.
No Marco Reus, though.
No Marco Reus. That's right. Marco Reus, who stays almost chronically injured, right? I hate to say it because he's so quality, but he's out for potentially a month. Sancho, though, has picked up the slack. Hazard is having a nice little season there. Thorgan Hazard, the younger one.
They just got Khan.
Who you guys got?
Dortmund. I think. I mean, I can't. Is that where the other kid is at Leverkusen?
Havertz, yeah. Yeah, he's at Leverkusen.
They've been hyping him up a lot, right?
Yep.
For Bayern. What place are they in, Rafa? Can you pull that
Leverkusen's
up?
in
The Bundesliga. Yeah.
Leverkusen's tied for 5th with Schalke right now.
Damn, this is a tough game. And they play Dortmund.
Yeah.
Is that Dortmund?
It's in Leverkusen.
I'll take Dortmund just off of.
I'm gonna take a draw.
Who are you taking?
A draw.
A draw, okay. Oh, man.
I think
that
some
kid the
of,
real deal.
and I think some of Dortmund's defensive problems are still gonna pop up,
Yeah, they're liable for something like
Yeah,
that.
it's a competitive league. We're saying.
and maybe Royce. That's a little bit of leadership right there in the field, depending
Right.
on how they're doing. So
'Cause last week, who won that game? RB or Munch?
They tied.
They tied.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with Andres here, and I'm going to go with the draw. I don't see Leverkusen. I hesitate to see Leverkusen lose at home, especially with their form lately. But I think Dortmund's just got a lot of their offense right now. Sancho to Haaland, all day.
so they're gonna win, or
Lob City. No, I got the draw too. I'm going to agree with you, and I got the
Who's
draw.
Leverkusen's forward?
Leon Bailey,
Damn,
the Jamaican international.
Damn.
Jamaica.
Kid's got wheels, bro. Kid's
Jamaica.
got wheels. We shift over to Italy now.
Ooh.
big game.
What was always a historic game. It's still a big match. I if I can, I like to watch it. It's not what it used to be, but we have the. I know there's a name in Italian for it. I forget. I think it's the Derby della Madolina or something like that. But in Milan, the city is split. Inter versus AC Milan. Who you guys got? Actually, I know Andres has got Inter, right?
This is for the league, right?
Technically, Inter's at home, even though both teams play in the same stadium. It is for the league, yes.
Damn, for real, they let go of the San Siro already and the what was the Inter Stadium called?
They both play at the San Siro.
Oh, they do?
Yep.
Wow.
I'm gonna take Inter. Historically, I think they've won 3 out of the last 4 derbies with them, and then I don't know. AC Milan looks resurgent with Ibrahimovic. I don't know if Ibrahimovic is gonna really play full throttle this game because they also have to play against Juventus midweek.
Who's at home technically?
Inter.
And I think a lot of it has to do with Ibrahimovic back in the squad. Just some sort of,
Experience
of, his status with the club and who he is. That just has everyone working hard. It's kind of like a little mini Ronaldo effect for Juve.
Well, for all that, what Andres said, I'm taking Milan. AC.
Oof.
I mean, yeah, he could definitely change the whole game by himself. But I still think Inter overall are way better than Milan this season. So
Sorry, I'm
I got
dropping things
Inter.
over here. You got Inter. Okay, so just to keep things interesting, and just because I won off of 2 draws last week, I'm going to pick a draw here.
another draw.
Inter has been susceptible to draws lately. They've been dropping a few points. I believe 3 out of their last 4 were draws. And then they finally won this last weekend against Udinese, right?
Yeah. It's a good. It should be a good. Those are on ESPN.
It's a derby, bro.
ESPN
So I don't know.
Plus.
Whoever comes out with more spirit too, you can, for all you think logic, but at the end of the day, it's emotion. So
I might want to catch that game and reminisce.
Oh, no.
no, I think Conte has a lot more spirit in his team for a derby. It's kind of like an Atletico Madrid type team. So
And like you said, Milan is resurgent. So
yeah, they're probably not gonna match that intensity from Conte at a derby. So
all right, well, I'm gonna stick with the draw there. So we all picked a different. Everybody's got a different possibility here. Moving on to another league, one we didn't talk about much today, but because PSG's so far ahead and there really isn't a whole lot else to talk about. PSG play Lyon in what's usually a big match in France.
no Neymar, serious injury. Right?
No Neymar, really?
No, he went out for his birthday.
Oh, that's right. No, but he missed a game in the middle of the week, right?
Oh, so he comes back for this one?
Yeah, no, it's interesting, right? Because Mbappe once again had an argument with Tuchel on the sideline after he was subbed out.
Yeah.
Possible signs of immaturity from the lad. Some people are praising him, right? Because he's got this drive, right, and doesn't ever want to leave the field. Thank you, Ryan. I knew it was the Derby della Madonnina. That's what it's called in Milan. But yeah, PSG Lyon. Who you guys got in France?
I think PSG.
PSG, yeah. They're probably gonna use their
Lyon.
front four. So Neymar, Cardi, Mbappe, and
I mean,
Maria.
I think they start to find some form and try for the champ. So
Just business as usual.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally overstating because I don't know really Lyon. Who do they have right now?
Shout outs to the boy the Squid who says that Majin Buu's gonna go off for 2.
Yeah, people are predicting a Highland brace.
Majin Buu brace. Man, in France here, I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna agree with you guys and go PSG too.
Yeah. So we can
I've always kind of liked Lyon. I grew up in a time when Lyon won 7 straight titles, and they had some great players like Juninho and Malouda. And a bunch of other guys came up through. Thiago, a lot of good players came up through Lyon, and even now they still got some pretty nice players. They have Moussa Dembele, who used to play at Celtic. Shout out again to Ryan, who likes Celtic. They got a couple nice players there at Lyon. Depay, of course, tore his ACL, right, and is coming back from injury, so he won't be playing. But they've got that intriguing young midfielder. They're number 8, Hurem. I think I'm saying that right, Hurem. Yeah, he's drawing interest from a lot of teams across Europe. So nice little player there. Yeah, across the board we picked PSG. Shifting once again to a different part of Europe. Sorry for the choppy transitions there, y'all. But in La Liga, probably the biggest match this weekend on Sunday, Betis versus Barcelona, and Betis is the home team.
Setien returns back to his former club.
That's right. The only other team he's coached in the top league in Spain.
I got Barca.
Didn't we see that game at the beginning of the season? And they tied 2-2 or something.
Did they play?
They're at Betis, right?
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, they're playing at Betis. Yeah, so they've already played at.
We saw that one at your house.
Yeah, no,
right
I think Barcelona won.
Was that
I thought they
Griezmann's?
tied 2-2.
That wasn't Griezmann's.
I think Griezmann scored 2 in the second half.
Can you look up Betis versus Barcelona, Rafa?
But
from the last time they played.
I think Barca.
This is the second time they played this season.
They have to bounce back. They can't lose another game. I mean, I don't think they have it to tie.
I'll go Barca too. It's hard.
They're gonna have. I mean, troubling times in the club, but wins, like Johnny says, wins solves everything. So as long as they pull together some wins, they didn't play bad the last game. They just, I mean, it's a Copa game.
It was 5-2. Barcelona blew them out.
Oh yeah, what? It was
I think that was the match where Griezmann had the 2 games. I think Messi was out.
Yeah, but that's a totally different squad. That's, Griezmann, Suarez, Messi. They put some good games together.
Yeah, Barcelona has been terrible away, guys.
It's a lot to put on Fati too the whole season. As it stretches on, I don't think he's gonna have the legs in him. He's 17, playing in his first season.
It's away. Barcelona's one of my favorites, but
last time we've been picking Barcelona, though, they haven't been.
They're in a bad way.
They've been giving us some bad picks.
They're in a bad way right now.
We think they win, they lose. We think they tie, and they end up winning, or you never know now.
Can Griezmann score another 2 again, you think?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know. I want to say Setien knows his team well, right? Most of the players that are there were his players.
It's even
it's so hard. Barcelona's been so bad away. I can't see them winning at a.
They've been playing away.
But you know what? Betis is one of those stadiums or one of those places where they play when they're away. So
And then
almost
Barca
kinda
hasn't
reluctant.
won away, bro. Damn.
No Piqué too. No,
No
Piqué.
Piqué. I like Umtiti in the middle, so it's okay.
He says it's okay.
And then finally,
So you got Barca? Barca
I
across
got
the
Barca
board?
across the board again. And shifting back to this side of the pond, probably the biggest match in Liga MX this weekend, Tigres versus Las Chivalácticas.
Yep.
Who you guys got?
I got Chivas.
Yeah, you
course.
already know me.
Oh,
got
man.
Chivas.
Tigres has been rocky lately, but Chivas has also been drawing a lot. So you know what? I want both of you Chivistas go Chivas. I will go draw.
Another draw.
I can see like a hot 2-2 for this one.
Tigres is
They're at
predicted to
Tigres,
win.
Yeah, they're
50 to
definitely-
21.
It's definitely hard as hell to win at Tigres, but
Leon wins. Betis gets the draw.
Oof, Ryan calling Leon over BSG. That's a hot... We'll see.
maybe.
It's a good draw.
All right, well, we'll keep you updated. We'll see how things stand as of next week. And yeah, that brings us to the end of the show here today, guys. As always, thank you guys for watching. Today we had 5 or 6 at one point watching the live stream, so thank you guys. You guys are awesome people.
Thank you.
Share. Thank you for being interactive. Give us a like. Tell people who like football. Let them know. Also, kind of a shameless self-plug. The Rewrites, the band that I am a part of, is playing here at the Cubby Bear, the historic Cubby Bear in Chicago, on the 20th of this month. That's a Thursday. You can get tickets online for $5, $7 at the door. But if you're free on a Thursday and in Chicago or in the region, come check us out in Wrigleyville. Actually, most of the intro music for the show and the outro music currently is our music. So, all right, that's it for the shameless plug. Check out the Rewrites if you can. And thank you for checking us out consistently. Thank you to my boys, Johnny and Andres.
Yeah.
Thanks to Rafa. And yeah, watch Liga MX this weekend because it's free on your TV. And if you've got the rest of the matches, enjoy them as well. Thanks, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace. Deuces.